Okay, this
And then
time
all the
it's
Borderlands
really
characters.
recording. So, yeah, actually, I mean, you all see it. That's my favorite avatar from Borderlands. So I need a companion.
Megaphone.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I gotcha.
Whoops, that was double megaphone and unmegaphone.
Double, 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 double.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Perfectly.
Okay, perfectly. I have good news for you. I have nothing prepared. So
That's good
let
news.
anyone wants to know anything, any ideas?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Elin, did you want to send over that file to her?
Yes, exactly. Should we
Yes.
do the nose job?
Right. Yeah.
Nose job.
My
Here's the
nose
nose.
job? Thank you.
Yes.
Never had one.
Yeah.
Here's the nose.
Can you grab it? Can you grab it?
We'll
Oh
do a
Well, I
my.
model
can
to
palm it.
break its nose, and then rebuild it.
It's so
All right,
good.
hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I gotta find you in Discord.
You can just throw it in general chat. I will grab it and then you can delete it if you want.
Okay.
I don't know. All I can think is that kid thing where you go and grab your nose.
Oh my gosh. Tokra, you have to create an accessory, maybe a
Okay,
spaceware,
it's
that's just a
typing.
nose that's attached to your hand, and then you can go to people and say, look, I have your nose, because they can't
I
see their
got your
nose.
nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you just type that? I saw you typing,
Yeah,
Faye.
I love
I
that
was like,
idea. I absolutely love that.
yeah. Also coins, so I can pull coins out of people's ears, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And
One in
one
each
time you
hand.
pull a coin, the other time you just pull a coin with the ear itself. Oh my god, I went too far.
Or grab the ear too.
oh my
I
goodness.
grabbed your ear.
Oh no,
Ear, maybe
What
half
is
of
your
head.
name
I don't
in
know.
Discord?
piece of the brain. Okay. I think you can just throw in the GLB if you want.
Okay. I just don't want a whole bunch of people grabbing the file, honestly.
Yeah, wait a second. Um, I would say if you throw it in avatar
If you
makers.
post, Elin, if you post once in general, she'll see you and then she can message you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
There you
there we
go.
go.
Woohoo!
There you are. Okay, so message.
Okay, perfect. There we go.
All right. Now upload file.
Rock
Downloads.
on.
Which one was the last one? I think it was this one.
Oh no, Discord, don't crash on me now.
No! Don't do it. Pretty sure the last one was this one. It was 4. So, there we go. It would help if I press enter.
Okay, there we go. And this was one too much, and that was not the right one.
Ooh,
Come again?
Okay, so can everyone see?
I also
Okay.
have a Blender file of it too. He sent me 2 different ones, so
Oh, that's
if you need
perfectly
that
fine.
one.
Oh, so
Okay.
that's interesting. That's defined as a beard.
It's a beard?
No,
Yeah, that's why I was confused too. Yeah,
okay,
I know. My
so
nose is a beard.
let's quickly go into weight painting mode, and now we have all those nodes. So let's quickly go through and see where it starts glowing up red. Just to, I mean, you could just go delete everything and create the correct one, but just out of curiosity, I want to go through and see on which bone it's actually linked. Okay, so that's really right toe end. Okay, that's,
You can just unpaint it from there and that's it. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
it's a
So,
whiskey vertex group
yeah.
that makes
So
it
what,
red.
so what I normally do, so I mean, as that's actually how we were describing it. So you select everything, you click on remove, and then you get your head and you click on assign. So now it's in the head, but no longer
Oh,
in the foot.
that's easy.
Oh, that was a simple fix.
And if you
It
move
seemed
now
like
around,
it.
your nose
Oh my
will
goodness.
sit. Um,
My neck moving weird.
Also, a little trick I really love to use when you are in the rigging and it's really hard to see your bones. Um, Click on in front to make them render always on top. And also, I really prefer to go in the stick mode. So you're just seeing those little sticks for all the bones,
Cool.
which makes it really nice to work with. Okay, I would.
Anybody recognize that avatar besides Faye?
Oh yes.
Oh, that's the glasses.
Yeah. Yes, I recognize it too.
Okay.
It's weird seeing it with boots though.
I know.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I
wait,
know. He
right.
said that.
Those are Ready
He
Player Me
said it's
boots.
better. Yeah, he said it's better that you put boots or shoes or something with it because something about knowing where your feet are and if you're on tippy toes or something like that
Yeah.
in here. So, yeah.
Completely up to you, I think.
You can also
Whoops.
add
Oh, that was
feet
not.
and arms.
Mm-hmm.
Just steal them from another avatar. Just select everything you want, export it as
Thank
an
you.
FBX, and just import it in yours, and it's gonna be in place.
Okay,
And
actually,
so this is recorded so I can see that again, right?
yes. And also,
Mm-hmm.
I would say
Awesome.
I go through a few other approaches how you could fix this. So first off, you can actually, you first have to select the armature, the rig, then the mesh, and if you switch then to weight paint mode, you can actually click shift click on the bone to see the current weight. So if I click anything else than the head, it's blue. And if I click on the head, you can see it's red. So let's
Mm-hmm.
just remove it from the head again and assign it to the right toe back.
No.
So now
That's
we
funny
have
because
it.
that's actually the right toe is one my dad lost. So that's funny that it was on the right one as well. Oh my goodness.
So now with shift select, actually, if you are in a newer Blender version, that I'm still using 3.6. And currently there's 4.1 out, which has a lot of really nice features, but it has also a lot of different hotkeys, and I'm just too lazy to learn those. So I'm still stuck with 3.6, but just we want this shift click on the bone to jump to the vertex group. That's no longer working in Blender 4.0 and 4.1. You have to press Control Shift click or Shift and Alt. but I don't remember correctly. I
Oh,
think it was Shift Alt. If Shift click isn't working, try one of the other combinations. Okay,
I
so
always use control click for bones.
Yeah, I always use control click, yeah.
um, yeah.
Mind I'm on an even older version. I'm using 3.4 something or other.
Oh, yeah. So wait, let me
Because I
quickly.
don't want to weight paint by mistake. That's why I use control every time. So I don't use the brush by mistake.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the thing is, currently in Blender, when you use Control, most of the time in every painting mode, Control is used for the negative value. So when you are, for example, in oops, quickly switch to sculpting mode. So when you are
Oh.
sculpting, you're pulling outwards. If you press Control, you're pulling inwards. So that's just inverts the
Oh.
direction. And this is also on, I think it's on texture paint. So if you are painting white and you're holding Control, you're painting black. So you're painting on the
Oh my
opposite.
god.
So for
That's how
example,
you use
if
the
I
secondary color.
switch it to blue, and that's how you quickly do this. And weight painting was the only system that was completely off the chart, which was just the other way around. So let me, whoops, someone forgot to turn down the UI, but that's fine. Um, let's quickly import the GLB. If I find it here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was one point why I hated the new version. It creates icospheres for all the bone positions. I don't even know why it's doing this. It's really just some visual representation, and a lot of people were already complaining about it, but I haven't seen any solution for that problem. I
Oh, you
thought,
can take that off?
This is 4.1.
yes, this is 4.1, but yeah,
Okay.
just so let's go into that's interesting. Oh, I haven't clicked on this. Okay, so now we are in weight paint mode. I can't select those bones anymore. I have to click Control
Control. Yeah.
Shift to select them. No longer control working. But nice thing is now I can paint now, and if I press now Control, I can subtract. So I know that's super handy, and I wanted this feature for so long to not always change the weight over here
Oh yeah.
manually. So just paint and then Control if I want to subtract it again. But it's just muscle memory that gets destroyed, and I always forget that this is now how it's working. And yeah, even though I know it now, I'm way too comfortable in the older Blender version. And yeah, that's why I still prefer it in 3.6, even though 4.1 has one absolutely amazing feature. So in 3.6, you want to select the whole hierarchy, right? You have to right click and select hierarchy, or you select the armature and you press Shift G for select group and then children. Then you have to unfold this and click on extend, and now you have the full hierarchy selected. Annoying. In 4.0, you just double click on the icon of the parent and it will select everything on top. And this also
Mm.
works on collection. So for example, I have this now. Let's move this to a different collection. And now I can just double click on the icon of the collection and it will select everything in the collection, which is super handy since most of the time I'm simply working on collections for different parts. So for example, let me quickly open up a scene. Um, Okay, let's open quickly Crystal Lake. So for example, here the terrain that contains the main terrain. That's not the main terrain. That's the main terrain. The slide collider and the stair colliders. So that's just one package, which I select everything here manually and then exporting the selected objects only. So that's now a lot easier, just double clicking the collection and then you have your quick actions. So when you go to File, Export, FBX, you can just say Add to Quick Action. I have it already, so I remove it. So Add to Quick Action, and if you simply press Q, normally you will get this menu directly. If you have hard ops installed, hard ops will take over. So you will have quick action as a sub-menu, which will result you have to press Q and then a second time Q, and then you are in this menu. So for example, when I want to export something super quickly, I just press QQF and then I'm in my FBX export, and then I have a preset that already sets the scaling, it sets the correct axis, it applies the transform, and it selects the selected object only, and it also deselects bake animation. That's just a
What about
little,
path mode?
sorry, what did you say?
Do you have to do anything with path? The path mode?
Um, Only when
I'm
I
always
have,
going to copy.
yeah. So if you want to include textures, then you go with
Right.
copy, and don't forget to turn this one on, or
Yeah,
else
that
it won't
stupid
work.
thing. Yeah, that took me a long time to find.
That makes no sense that you have to
Yes.
enable it additionally, but that's what you have to do. And also, if you want to include your textures, um, that's only working when you're using the principal BSDF shader. For example, if you don't have that and you
Another headache.
just simple having a diffuse shader, and the diffuse shader that is mixed with a transparent shader, and then you have a mixed shader, something like this. This will not work. You won't get your texture included in the FBX, only working with the principal BSDF. And that already resulted in so much headache where I just was losing
Yeah,
my mind.
I've noticed you don't get things like ambient occlusion and stuff as well because it doesn't plug directly into the BSDF.
Yes, exactly.
So
That's
Yeah.
anything where it has to do kind of calculations or anything before it gets plugged in, you
Yeah.
lose those.
Blender can break the spec in
Oh,
2 seconds for
oh, there's me
GLTF.
controller smashed. Oh, lordy.
Yeah, for GLTF, there is a workaround for ambient occlusion. You have to create, I think, an empty group, and you have to name it correctly. Um, Definitely have a look in the Blender GLTF export documentation. So here it actually shows you if you're using ambient occlusion, where we have it.
You gotta break out the channels or something, the red, green, blue or something.
Um, yeah, so that's what you have to do for metallic roughness, but
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You're completely right. So you should pack the ambient occlusion in the metallic roughness. So you have
Yeah.
green for roughness, blue for metallic, and red. That's your ambient occlusion. And then you have just an empty group that is called GLTF settings. And there you plug in your ambient occlusion node, and then it will be included.
Didn't know that.
Actually, if you import a model, a GLTF model that has already a ambient occlusion map, it will create this node for you. So most of the time I'm just looking up a model I already have and just copy it because I make so often typos and then it's not working and I'm like, what? I made it one-to-one like in the documentation, and then, oh yeah, typo. Thank you. Okay, yeah. What else? I think the new outliner stuff. That's actually the coolest things. Also, principally SDF shader gets a little bit, um, yeah, unified. Can you say that? It's no longer so fat. They just moved everything in sub groups, and everything is a little bit faster. Also, what was it? There was another really cool feature I was looking forward, but it wasn't worth it yet to make the switch. Yeah. So, but currently, as I said, you can work in Blender 3.x or whatever. It does the job absolutely fine. Everything works perfectly. It's really mainly the changes and hotkeys that prevented me from updating all the main projects.
Modifiers.
Oh,
Modifiers are
yes.
totally different. That
Yes.
really annoys me what they've done with them.
Yes. So first off, the
Oh,
modifiers are now a list. So yeah, it's nice that you can finally search in modifiers. But on the other hand, I just like it
muscle
so
memory.
much more to just have here my my complete panel where I just
Yeah.
have my muscle memory. I know exactly where my subdivision surface is, where my solidify is, where my
Mhm.
decimate sits, and yeah, there is an add-on to bring back the old menu, but what's also annoying that you don't have auto smooth anymore. So here you just have shade auto smooth, and this means you can just change the, if you clear the custom splits, you can change the smoothing here with this angle. Let me switch to this view to see it better. And that's just really quick and convenient. And in the new system, they changed it to be shade smooth by angle. So that's just a modifier. So you define the angle. You think, okay, that looks exactly like the old system. That's perfectly fine. But if you go into edit mode, it creates real sharp edges here,
Mm.
which is so freaking annoying because
That's crazy.
sharp edges, I'm in the I if I need them, I create them my own. But I hate this so much when models come pre with already existing sharp edges. First thing I'm doing is clear sharp to get
Clear
rid of
sharp.
them.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, their solution to this is a modifier. So you go with normals and you go to smooth by angles, and then you have your smoothing back to just being uh, here angle based, and you don't have any sharp edges. But this means it's completely modifier dependent. So if you, for example, um, I'm totally confused by this new menu. If you have now weighted normals and you change the order, you have different results because smooth shading won't be always the last modifier. So every time you add any modifier on here, for example, let's add decimate. Let's do some decimation. Before that, let's do a merge by distance. Um, yeah, I added now a decimate on top of it, and to make the smoothing to work, I have to pull it down again to be the last modifier. And that's just something that's, for me personally, it's annoying and I don't like it. Maybe I get used to it. Maybe there will be a simple script that makes sure that the smooth by angle modifier will automatically always the last modifier when you add any modifiers to your objects.
Yeah. I just don't understand. I'm always I just think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The auto smooth worked perfectly before they changed everything.
Yeah, exactly. Especially, I don't understand why they have to make it into shades moved by angles and then, yeah, making just these sharp edges here. That just makes no sense for me. I mean, it would be fine if they still have here the shapes moved by angle, but the only way to achieve this is with the sharp edges. That's, yeah, strange. I'm still confused how they managed to create those icospheres here on the armature. Do you have any idea, Lisa, why this is happening?
I have no idea, I'm afraid, because this is the first I knew about it. I downloaded version 4, hated the modifiers, found one or two other things I didn't like, and uninstalled it, so I didn't even get that far to discover the icospheres.
Oh, I
So are
see.
those the joints that connect to the bones? The joints, right? For each
Yeah,
bones
it is
connecting
the
to another.
joints, yeah, that's right.
Okay, I see. So those are some custom shapes that getting imported. So let me turn this on. Yeah, so this is this collection. So somewhere this is linked. So you have to turn off shapes to see the normal bones. But I don't see any option. Oh, wait, is it actually only bones? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, and it's on each bone separately. Well, this is nice.
select all bones.
Um, yeah, this is fun. When do I had this option? Was it only in object mode?
Maybe ChatGPT knows a script to like make everything look the way it was and just run it once.
That's so stupid. No, there's no way to. At least I don't see any. How to remove all at once. It's really just the active one. And you can't
Oh,
multi-select
madness.
bones in object mode. You can only select them in edit mode or in pose mode, but then you don't have the options here. Maybe you have in pose mode. Let's see.
Can't you double click on the armature?
No.
Select everything?
Uh,
Oh no.
No,
the
yeah, I
armature
can't
only
seem to
selects
select
the
more than
meshes.
one bone.
Yeah, so only option is, I mean, you probably
It's so
can.
funny. I walked away from my computer for a second, and then I hear y'all talking about my avatar again, and I'm just like, "What's wrong with my avatar now?" And I have my headset unplugged, and then my 9-year-old says, "You don't have veins." I'm like, "What?" He said, "You
What?
don't have veins in your arms," and he was pointing at his arms. I don't know. He's just I don't know. He's just seeing it from his point of view. He's autistic and ADHD, so some of the things he says is hilarious. So I'm just like, "What? I don't have veins."
I mean, he's right. You don't even have arms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
veins are at the least of your
exactly.
problems.
Okay, that's interesting.
But you fixed your nose, yeah.
I removed now the ecosphere.
Yeah, she fixed it. Yeah.
Uh, it's still here. So where do he get those shapes? Where is this ecosphere? Oh, wait, I know. So Blender's favorite thing. You delete things, but they aren't deleted. They are only hidden, so they are still part of the scene graph. So if you go here in
Mm.
Blender File and then in Meshes, you can see there is still the ecosphere.
Ah.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can delete it from here, but you could also, let's see if that works. Maybe not because it's still assigned in the armature, but what I do so often, I go on cleanup and then recursive unused data blocks. And this will
Yeah.
Oh.
get rid of everything you
Oh.
deleted actually from your
Yeah.
scene and your outliner, but it's still in the file, still in the blend file. So this,
I will
Yeah.
always go to
Have
that
you ever have you
data
ever
and just delete
discovered
them from there.
yeah.
yeah.
So
Have you ever discovered that you edit a file talker several times and it just you take stuff out but it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the file.
Oh, my
You ever
files are
had
so
that?
big, I don't even know. And I also make like
Because it's
I
bloated
increase
full of
the
unused
file every
meshes
time I
and
put a one, two,
materials
three,
and
four.
data block. Yeah. Just
Oh
do a
yeah, I get
cleanup.
out of space
And
so
I go,
fast because I I
yeah,
create new
So,
files all the
so
time
how
to have
so how do you
backups.
clean it up then? How do you clean up that unused stuff?
Just go to the there and
file
in the
cleanup.
yeah,
file,
Clean
yeah,
up.
and also
Okay.
delete them
Okay.
from the hierarchy, the file layout mode, I guess.
yeah. So
Hmm.
that was now a
Right.
special
Right.
case because the icosphere, it was still assigned to the bone. So it was not an unused data. So, but if you go
Mm-hmm.
into the Blender file and then you can manually delete files from here. Sometimes
I do this all the time.
I even have it that some textures just getting stuck in here and I can't get them out and I
Mm-hmm.
don't see where they are stuck, where which object, which material are they still using it, then you can just go in here, just delete them. Because most of the time, actually, it happens with HDRIs when I have an HDRI as a skybox, so I just use environment texture. And then I realize, oh, this doesn't work so well. I change the HDRI, choose another one, but the first one is always stuck in the file and will always take up space. And then I'm going manually in here, selecting it and deleting it out of here.
And that's Blender file, right?
Yes, exactly. So
Yep.
here you have the different modes. So scene, no, not scene, view layer,
View
that's
layer and Blender file.
Yep.
that's your hierarchy. And then you have Blender file. That's actually just a list from everything you have in here. For example, here also all the workspaces and shape keys, just everything that's in the file. Okay. Do we have more to hate about new Blender?
Oh man.
Feel free to drop
Ah.
your most annoying functions. Okay, how about a little bit of Cinemachine? Someone, I didn't
Sure.
remember who it was. Please don't be angry if you are here. Asked me how Cinemachines are working. Is this person here?
That's in Unity,
I
though,
don't
right?
know,
Yes.
but I have no idea
Don't
what
know,
that
but
is.
I'm definitely interested.
Okay. So, yeah, let's grab a scene where you can actually see something.
Is that
Um,
the
The
thing that
small
we're
text.
supposed to add every time, like it was in the face tutorial, the old one? I think she mentions there like to add cinema cinema, but I had no idea what that is.
so normally, actually, I'm not sure if the current SDK allows you to not use it. So first off, you have to go into the package manager and then you search for Cinemachine. And if you haven't already imported it into the project, and then you should have this, or maybe not anymore. Huh, I thought there was a Cinemachine option in here.
Any way to make that easier to read?
No, seems not. Okay, so we do it manually. So right click, you have here Cinemachine, and actually those are just virtual cameras. So if I select this one, you can see here just it's just a simple transform with a script on it. There's no camera, so what you still need a basic camera. Let's just aim it like this. So this doesn't do anything. Let me make you a little bit more space. And this camera will get a brain. So camera is smart now. And
Ooh.
this actually gets the last activated virtual camera. So you can see here now, it has the Cinemachine virtual camera 1, which is this one, which is simply just a transform. So you can just move this one around. You can place your camera with Control Shift F when you select it. You can duplicate this one. Let's move it to here. And now the camera has the second one actually. Please use proper naming. Thank you. Yeah, and the system works if I turn the second one off, it will jump automatic to the first one again. If I turn the second one on, it will jump directly to the second one. And you can make this. So this is really just you turn objects on and off, and it will just check, okay, which one is active or which one was the last that's active, and then just swap to this. But the main benefit with Cinemachine is that it's not just jumping, so you have this blending. So for the blending to work, we actually have to be in play mode. And now if we turn a camera on and off, it will blend between those cameras. And what the
Ooh.
system actually does, it's really just lerping the position of our brain between the virtual cameras. And if that's too slow for you, you can just increase the speed and then it's doing it faster, or you can just set it to a cut, then it's cutting directly. And also you can have a custom animation curve. So for example, let's just create a basic one and let's do something that we want super fast acceleration, but then it gets slower over time. And we say over 2 seconds, and let's test how this will look. So it starts fast and then it goes really slow.
Yeah, it looks wonderful.
And you can also, for example, here that's now just the default one, but you can create more of those assets. So you can just say you have predefined blending modes, and then on the cameras, on the transition, I think it was here. Oh no, I think you have to put them into groups. Okay, that's a little bit more complicated. So that's actually something that's, is that an extension? No, I think that's not. Yeah, it's in a machine target group. No,
Do these
that's not the right
cameras
one.
get added automatically to the streamers? Because I saw this movement when they move to a camera from one to another.
Yes, so
I
that's,
thought they were flying around, but
no,
they're
no,
not
no.
flying around, right? They're just choosing cameras.
Yes, they are just choosing cameras, but the thing is that those cameras here, for example, let's take the second one. And also let's create a funny little sphere, because who doesn't like spheres? Come on. And now we can just actually, yeah, let's first start with the basics. So the camera, also it has all the default camera settings, like you have field of view, you have clipping planes, you can override the mode. For example, you can switch to orthographic. But most importantly, you have this aim option, which currently uses a composer. And so let's do in the look at, let's drag the sphere in here. So this will actually follow the sphere around when it's moving. So it has a hard look at. And what's the really nice thing about, let me quickly see how I enable this. I think it's this guidance window. Yes. So here you can now see what are the limits. Unfortunately, I can't lock this. Can I lock it like this? Yes. So there is a little bit of movement. So it's not completely hard locked. So you could actually do this when you have the aim. You can just set it to hard look at. And if the sphere is moving now, it's really completely fixed on the pivot point of the sphere. But the composer allows you some flexibility. So it's a little bit dampening and smoothing, and you can change all those things. For example, let's increase the dampening here. So that should now take a little while until it starts following you. And if you get outside of the blue area, so inside the blue area, it's really slow. But if you're going into the red area, it starts to accelerate. So it keeps up with the object. So the object will never actually leave the frame.
Oh, it's really cool.
And this is really yeah. So that's the look at, and most of the time you can combine this with different things. So now we can just set the second sphere as the follow. So this object is now just our first person controller, where it follows around, but it still keeps our second sphere in the view whatever we're doing. And actually, I think if I remember correctly, you can move the center just around as you want. For example, you want to frame something here in the bottom corner. Just move it like this, and it will make sure the object will always stay in the bottom corner. And you can always change those dead zones. So for example, this one will now keep it only, it will not reset the view perfectly on the pivot, so it will only make sure it will be in this area. So that's the wrong sphere. That's not the right sphere. So this can move freely here around, and the camera won't follow it. Only when it starts going into the smooth area, it will start following, and the red area will still prevent it to go outside at all. And that's how you can just frame things up. And for example, if you want that an object is able to move on the horizontal axis without the camera moving at all, you can do it like this, and only when it exits, the camera will start panning, or if it goes upwards, it will pan upwards and downwards, or tilt upwards, downwards, I think. That's correcter. And yeah, so that's the base system. You have your brain, that's just a main camera, and you can just assign a render texture like you always do for all kind of things you want to display. For example, you want to do a mirror with the Cinemachine system. You don't have to use it in the game view. The game view, that's only when you want to use it for streamer mode, like we do it in the Comedy Club. That's only there for 2D. That's not really working on Quest. I mean, you can enable it, but then you will just get sick because you don't have any motion controls anymore and your head is stuck to that camera. So please don't do it on Quest or in VR in general. So on the 2D client, it's also with a UI that's hidden for VR players. That's only available in 2D. Yeah, so far for the basics, and then there is just a ton more of really cool things. For example, there is the dolly camera with a track. So this, maybe I shouldn't create those things in play mode. So yeah, you have a dolly track where you can add waypoints, and this is really just a spline system. So you can just move them around. I mean, that looks not really nice. Let's move this one to the bottom too. Let's add another one and bend it over here. And that's now a track, and it creates the object dolly track, and that's really just a curve. There's nothing fancy to it. Important is that you have a virtual camera that is set the follow mode to dolly track. And if you then, let's get our handy sphere again as our look at target. So if you move the sphere now around, it should follow the track, but it's not doing. Because I think I have to. No, that's not the right one. I think I have to set the follow too. Nope. And today in Elin being lost in Unity, we have follow track. Let's see, there's definitely an option. Oh yeah, auto dolly. That was the one I have to enable. Or not. No, that's still not fixing it. Okay. Oh yeah, right. So actually you have here the path position, and that's just I think every point, yeah, every point is 1 unit. So we have now 3 points. That means 2 is the maximum unit we can get. 1 is the first point or the second point, and 0 is the first point. So that's something you can change, for example, with a slider. For example, in the comedy club, there is this camera that's on the rail that goes in an arc around the stage, and this path position is simply hooked up to a UI slider where you can change the position on this track. But there is definitely an option how to automatically follow. I thought it was this value. Maybe not. Maybe it's not working when I'm in play mode. Okay. Yeah, but basic functionality is just you can set this manually if this is not enabled. And yeah, I just highly recommend if you want to use Cinemachine, the basics are pretty straightforward. It's really just latest camera that gets enabled is the active camera, and then change the tuning between the cameras on your brain camera, and then Cinemachine has just a ton of options. You can just play around. For example, let's go to our second camera again. You can add as extensions, you can add some, was it here where you can add some shaking? Oh no, here in the noise, you can add some basic handheld movement like this to make it look a little bit more realistic, like someone is filming it on their smartphone. Or you can do some earthquake or change it like, yeah, that fits your need. Like, oh, you want to go into earthquake mode? You can just set this value with an animator, for example. I think those values are also completely available with sliders. So let's quickly add a slider. Let's get our virtual camera, and first off, let's turn this down again, or someone will get motion sick looking at the screen. Okay, so let's see. Okay, that looks like you don't have this option directly available on the slider, so you probably have to do it with an animator. There's my camera. Okay, some else you can add, for example, with extensions. There's also a huge list. You can add colliders. That means the camera will bump against objects. This is mainly just, does it ignore text? Nope, we want default, yes. And I think there was an option to change the collider size. Oh yeah, that's the minimum target. So for example, if you want that your camera is not crashing into things, you can just set the minimum distance, and then it actually shouldn't crash into stuff. Yeah, for example, you see here now, my object is actually way underground, but the camera, since it has a collider, won't go under the ground. So that prevents you from objects clipping into walls or into the floor. But we want this can produce some jittering. There are damping functions, but in my experience, it happens way too often that this will just start to jitter around, especially when your camera is just sliding on some colliders. And sometimes it will just completely freak out. Okay, okay, I would say we have time for one more. So which one do I like? Um, I think it's just a basic virtual camera, and then for the body, instead of transposer, the third person controller. So that's actually something we have in the F7 menu. So if you're on 2D mode and you press F7, then you get the free flight camera, and then you see all the names at the bottom of the screen. Actually, let me quickly show you. So you're on the client, you press F7, and I can fly around, and oh wow, I can see myself. And now I totally forgot which button it was. Was it F8? F6? No. Nope. Actually, I think that shouldn't be like this. I think there's a function missing, because normally you should be able to see all the people at the bottom in a list and just click on people, and then the camera should follow them around with this third person follow. So first off, you want to set here an offset from the shoulder. I would say you want to do this on the Z axis and also on the Y a little bit. And then if you move your object around, it's just following, but also it should rotate if you set it up correctly. I think I need to look at too. Also, let's give it a little bit more space. Nope, that's just basic following around. Nope, that's still the same. Isn't that fun? It's always like you're looking at those things the first time. And most of the time it's just, oh yeah, I know it now how it works. Then you look at it a few days later, no idea what I did there. And then just spinning around some value, seeing what happens, as always, what happens at the end. I think actually I have to set the aim. Was it POV that I can look around? Yeah, I think it was this. So you can still look a little bit around, but it will still follow the person. And then I think you should be able to decrease how strong it is. Was it this one? Nope. Was it an extension? I think it's the third person aim. That should be the right one. Not really. I mean, let's see if we are on the ground. Oh, okay, yeah. So that still works. So it's rotating around the object like in an orbit. And you can make it collide. Okay. As mentioned, just play around with it. It's fun. And also, there are plenty of YouTube tutorials. So if you really want to go more in depth, I highly recommend just watching some basic tutorials that just go over all those kind of cameras, what they do, how they work, how you set up them correctly. And yeah, for example, this one is also an odd one. This one is just, it should always use the camera that works best for the current view. So for example, we have here now the second camera, here the third, and here the fourth camera. Let's see if this works. Nope, not really. I think that I have to add some occlusion. Wait a second. Let's just block them. Yeah, so this just looks, is the object, your follow target, in view of a camera? Then it uses this camera. Then if another camera sees it better, it switches the camera. So that's like an automated camera operator, or more like someone in the regie that just has all the cameras and just looks at it, which camera has your target object best in view, and then depending on this, turning the camera that works best into the live mode. This is mainly really nice. So from the documentation, I think the example project for this camera setup is a car chase in a dense city, where they placed all those cameras in the city around the corners, and then they let cars race through the city, and the clear shot camera system will do all the cuts completely automatically. And also here you can also use all those easing types, so you don't have to use cuts. It should be able to just blend between them. Yeah, like this. I know that's pretty chaotic. That's a bad example I built here. I hope you still got at least a little bit of an overview, that you don't have to be afraid about Cinemachines, a camera system. It's pretty straightforward. It has a lot of functions you can get lost in, but lots of tutorials about this. And yeah, especially if you want to do some studio setup, some streaming setup, something like this. Actually, oh, wait, I forgot one important thing. And this is that we actually have a script for this. So if we go to the Banter SDK folder, we actually have a script set aim target. And this lets you define a virtual camera. I think, no, that's the brain. You have to define your brain camera, and then you can say it's a trigger, and then set it to player, or player head is probably better. You can choose local, remote, or all. Probably all is what you want. And this will actually set the target on all those cameras that are using the brain. So the brain actually has, oh, there was somewhere an option to see this. I think I have to switch here to debug mode. No. Okay, but somewhere there's a list where you can see all the cameras that are used by the Cinemachine, but you don't have to carry about, because actually you can use only one Cinemachine brain camera in your scene. More than one will just break and it won't work properly. But what the script is doing, it's getting you define your camera, and then you can, by default, it just sets the player head that enters this trigger collider. It sets the target on all those cameras that are in your system. So all those cameras will look at the player that walked into the trigger collider. You can also define it more precise. So you can just say, okay, I only want here camera 1 and 2 to be set. And then you can have another trigger where you have the set to another set of virtual cameras. And that's how you could, for example, have some surveillance system where you have different rooms, and someone enters the room, it will set the target to those persons that enters the room, and then you have your control screen and you see people walking there around. Okay. Um, I think that's mainly it. The other thing we still have is the dolly position control. That's really just a little band-aid script that changes the field of view based on a slider distance. So it actually zooms in and out while changing the field of view. It's this classical Hitchcock camera movement. It's called the dolly zoom. Let me quickly see if I can quickly add it. Let me turn off all those crap cameras. Let's go back to this one.
Hello.
Wait, which one are this? Which one is this? Oh, this one has still the follow. So let me get rid of this. Let's move the camera back. Let's get our look at sphere back here. Okay, and first off we need our a slider, and that should it be? No, that's not the case because I need this on my camera, obviously. So let's paste this here. And now if you change the slider, nothing happens. Do I have the wrong slider? No. Um, I think I had to set those values directly here. Nope, that was not right. Um, nope, I'm completely lost and I have to look up how I actually made this demo scene in a comedy club. Let's see.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but is this a Blender class?
You're welcome to interrupt. Yes and no. This is mainly just fooling around in Blender and Unity and just answering questions and getting lost and raging about
Okay, okay.
updates.
So
So
everybody's learning together. That's so awesome. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'll go back on mute. I'll continue to watch. Thank you.
um, I have to disappoint you, but the event is actually already ago since 15 minutes and I have to get some
Oh,
dinner
okay,
now.
okay. I just happened to drop in. I just happened to drop in and I saw this. I was like, oh, I need to learn this kind of stuff. No, but thank you for your time.
No, you're welcome. So we do this every week, every Sunday at oh, at what time is it? I think 7 p.m. European time, Central European time.
European time? Okay. I'm
And
in California, so I'll look it up so that I'm not late next time because this is really interesting.
yeah, so you can just
Yeah, ours
favorite
is
this
at
event.
10 a.m. PST.
10 a.m. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if you, I don't know, is this event still on the event page? Yes. So if you go to the event section in the menu, the second icon with the calendar, you can just click on the heart. That means you subscribe to this
She's the one
event.
talking to you, by the way.
Yeah, a little bit confusing with
The
megaphone.
one with the question mark above her head.
There you
That's
go.
Yeah,
Elin.
yeah.
Yeah, she's megaphone. That's right.
Nice.
Okay.
I don't know, honestly. I try to look for the like how it kind of flashes or what have you, but it was hard to tell in here.
Yeah, definitely. I already heard the critic, the space sucks for this kind of events, and I promise next week there will be a better space. No more, epilepsy stuff going
No,
on.
I could see it now. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry about that. I'm still absorbing everything
No, but
as I
that's
go.
absolutely a valid point. It's really hard to see when someone's talking with so much animated matrix text around you. So definitely
Yeah,
better
yeah.
space is
No, I'm
coming.
glad I could see you now. And thank you for whoever pointed that out. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
I
Proxide.
think I was focused on this person right here,
Yeah, I
Takra
noticed.
or Tokra. So,
Yeah, I'm just in the middle. Yeah.
no, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anyway, yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. I'm gonna, oops, sorry. I'll like it so that I don't lose the information. Oops.
Yeah, as I said, if you open the menu on the events page, you can click on the little heart to subscribe to this event, and then next week you will get notified 15 minutes in advance that the event is about to
Okay,
start.
perfect. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm gonna head out. Thank you for all the information and your time.
Yeah, and thank you all for staying so long with me and not slamming your heads against the walls.
Oh, of
Hey,
course.
thank you. Thank you. It's great.
Mm.
Okay, then.